everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to replace the skies in your photos using Photoshop. This can be a really great way to improve the quality of your photos or just change the look and the feel of the photo. So stay tuned and I'll walk you through everything that you need to know. So we're in Photoshop and this is my image and it needs a bit of work. I'm not happy with how the grass looks down here and the overall exposure and balance of the photo. So it's always best to do these adjustments first, then you know what sort of image you're matching your sky to. So I'm going to quickly get these done and then we'll get into replacing the sky. Okay, so I've done my edits and we can have a look at a before. That's the original image, and I kind of balanced exposure and tidied up this foreground area. So let's get onto the sky. To do that, it's really easy. Just go up to the edit menu and select sky replacement, and it'll work in the background, and there, it's replaced the sky. Quick as that. If you click up on the arrow in this top box, you can choose all the different sky types. And there's a range that come installed with Photoshop, but if you can import your own, and there are quite a few on the internet, just Google sky image, sky replacement image, find the one you like, download it, and then you can click on this plus button and import it into Photoshop. We're going to stick with ones that come preloaded, and there's various types. And this is where you've got to be careful. The type of sky you use has got to match the rest of the image. Obviously this one doesn't really. Again, it's not sunset. You can tell by looking at it, looking at the rest of the image, that this wasn't an image taken at sunset. Therefore, you shouldn't really be using these skies. It's not going to look realistic. This one doesn't look bad, but again, it doesn't really match. I'm going to stick with the more plain ones. We've got this one. Then I want clouds. Got some more clouds. Maybe have a look at these clouds. These ones or these ones. I'm going to try these. So once you found the image that you like, just click out the box, click anywhere else, and you can make some adjustments. I don't tend to make any adjustments in this menu. You can do them afterwards. The only one I tend to use is scale, and with this you can either increase or decrease the scale of the image. And obviously you can't make it too small because then it won't be big enough for your image, but you can play around. Obviously if we go too big, it just looks like a grey overcast day. I'm not really happy with this replacement, to be honest, and that's not a problem. You simply click back in the box and let's try this one. Possibly, actually I think I'm just going to stick with this, just a plain blue sky. Yeah, I like that one. So then click out, just make sure it says output to new layers, and then click OK. And then you can see, here we go, here's all the masks and all the other work that Photoshop's done in the background to replace the sky, all in a group. So you can quickly switch it on and off to see the before and after. Now, as I said a minute ago, you can easily make adjustments to sky once it's been imported, like you would do with any other layer in Photoshop. So what I think this sky looks slightly undersaturated, and that's not a problem. I want to bring a bit more saturation into the sky. So just ensuring that I've got the layer selected, my sky replacement layer, I'm just going to add a vibrance adjustment. Click on that, and then we can adjust the vibrance of the sky. But you might see a problem. It's not just affecting the sky, it's affecting the whole image, which of course we don't want, but that is easily rectified. And all you need to do is click on this icon here, which is a square box with an arrow pointing downwards. This is the clipping icon, and switching it on means they will only affect the layer below it, which is the sky layer. So now when we make our adjustment, it only affects the sky. So let's reset that. I don't think it's going to need much. Turn up vibrance a bit. saturation, I don't want it I don't want it really blue. I don't want it like this. But I just want it slightly more saturated than it was. And it's doing it by eye really. If you press the eye icon, you can see before and after. I think that's about it. Very subtle. But a lot of things in Photoshop is subtle. Yeah, I think that's fine. So we'll close that down. Close up the group. And again, we'll go back to before. This is the original image with the horrible grass. I replace the horrible grass, adjust the image, and then finally adjust the sky. And it's as quick as that. And if we zoom in, we can see Photoshop's done a really good job with the masking. Quite a complicated background with all these trees and the lines, and it's masked it really well. So that is a sky replacement done in Photoshop. So this is quite a nice image, but it's got a problem which you often get. It's either being quite a grey day, or where I'd imagine this area is quite dark when you're standing here taking a picture. The sky's blown out, so the sky's quite overblown. You can't see much detail in it. It's a good sort of shot where you use sky replacement. So we'll quickly do the same. Edit sky replacement. I want some clouds in this picture. So I'm going to go for these clouds or those. I'm going to go for those. And this is the sort of sky replacement where I would use the scale slider. You can also flip them over. Don't think that really does anything, but we can make them slightly bigger. And I think that looks better rather than a few more smaller clouds. I'm just going to have a couple of bigger ones. I think that works. I like the way this cloud just kind of sits in this part of the image. So I like that. Again, output to new layers. Okay, everything's in a group. Actually before, and that's your after. Do I want to do anything in the sky like I did with this image? I think I'm just going to put a curves layer, try and get a bit more contrast in. So again, ensuring that I have a sky layer selected. I'm going to put curves in and just do a bit of a S-curve. Again, it's affecting the whole image, easy to change. Just switch on your clipping mask, and then it's only affecting the sky. I'm just going to put a subtle S-curve in. It's just giving me a bit of darkness in those clouds. Take it off. And it's also bring a little bit of saturation into the blue. I think that makes it look better. Again, very subtle, but it just shows that you're not just stuck with the original image. You can make adjustments like you would with any other part of a photo in Photoshop. The only thing I would say, depending on the resolution of your image that you use for sky replacement, because again, this is just an image. If it's low resolution, it doesn't stand up that well to lots of adjustments. You'll soon start breaking down and looking a bit unrealistic. So be very subtle and use as high as resolution image as you can. If you're importing your own sky replacement images, make it as high resolution you can, and then it will stand up to a bit more photo editing. So for the final image in this tutorial, I just want to show where this sky replacement method doesn't work so well. And if we look at these first two images, even though, as I said, the edges of them are quite complicated, there's a hard defined edge between the sky and the other parts of the image. See the lines of the cliffs, and in this one, the line of the trees. And this makes it easy for Photoshop to work out what's the sky and what's the rest of the image, and then apply the masks. When we look at this image, even though we have this hard defined line and these cliffs, back here where the sea meets the sky, so the horizon somewhere like here, it kind of blurs in. So that means when you go and select sky replacement, hasn't picked up this line and it's not worked. And even if we change to something else, even a plain blue sky, you can clearly see where the sky is bled into the sea. You can fiddle about with it. You can go in and select the sky, select B for brush, and then paint out the sky replacement. And depending how detailed it is and how complicated the image is, you could get it to work. Some done a very good job, but you can see that it is possible to make adjustments to the mask once you had applied it. But generally, if there's an image that you want to replace the sky in, you just need to make sure that as in these images, there's quite a hard defined border between the foreground of the image and the sky, and then you get a really good job. But the one thing I do want to show you is, even though it didn't pick up on this very well, if we zoom into her hair, it's done, again, a really good job. You know, this is really, anyone who works in Photoshop knows that hair is one of the hardest things to mask. And it's picked up all these stray hairs here and masked the sky around them. It shows what a powerful tool this is and can really improve your photos. And you're no longer ruined by those days where you've got a beautiful image, but it's a grey, dull day, or you blow out the sky. You don't have to bin those images anymore. You can work on them, get the sky, and get a usable, decent image out of it. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on sky replacement in Photoshop. If you do have any questions, let us know in the comments. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel for more tutorials like this, or dropping a like on the video to help it grow on YouTube. Until next time, never stop learning, and I'll see you soon.